Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to cover an in-depth guide on Squarespace galleries. There are more options than ever before to set up your galleries on Squarespace, but it's important to know which ones work for you in which cases so that you don't set up things or waste hours going in circles. If you're a photographer, you're gonna love this video, and if you're just setting up a gallery or two, you're gonna love this video. So as you go through it, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, but let's get started. So as you can see here, we are on my demo website, and what we're going to want to do is really just start to create different sections. Now I'm going to show you what the options are at the very high level and then break all of them down. So the first thing I'm going to do in this case is create a new page. I'm just going to start with a blank page, nothing fancy, and go gallery page. All right, and I'm actually going to drag it into our main navigation so you could see it up here, and then we could work off of that. All right, so let's click edit. Now you have a few options. I'm just going to add this header so we have a section up here. But let's add a section here. So the first thing you want to do is click add section. Now these are the different layers for a gallery. Number one, you could hit gallery and add in something like this. When you see the little eye, that means it's a gallery section. That's like the best way to describe it. So this little eye indicates that you're creating an entire section that is a gallery. But you could create a blank section and then put a gallery in it. There's a difference, and I'll show you the differences in a moment here. But that's a major breakdown. The other one to consider, depending on what you're doing, is a list. A list is really useful. Again, with this little eye, it has its own kind of features, but say, for example, you are a photographer and you travel the world and take photos, and you want to organize your photos in 3 layers. Your homepage, like the main layer, and then that second layer would be, let's say, South America, Africa, Asia, and things like that. And then if someone clicks on Asia, then it would take them to, say, for example, the next layer, which would be Japan or China or something like that. Or that just goes directly into the gallery. But as many layers as you want to do, this is a really useful tool because you could actually use this as one of those top layers. So maybe here, if I zoom in, this section here where it says dream it, build it, grow it, it would be Asia, South America, and Africa, things like that. Maybe you want text, maybe you don't. You could get rid of it. Maybe you want the button, maybe you don't. You could get rid of it. It's really easy to do. So there are these 3 major sections to consider for galleries. Number one, the actual gallery, which you have a ton of different options here for setting up like a slideshow, different things. You have a list, which looks like a gallery, but also forms a lot of different structures. And then thirdly, you have just a blank section that you can add and then go into it. Let me show you now. You click the plus sign, and then let me get rid of that. And then you have this gallery button. And then once you click that, you're adding a gallery to a page. Okay, so that is the breakdown. Now I'm going to go through all 3 of those in depth. So what I've done is I've created all 3 sections on one page. So I'm going to show you what they look like. The first one we just took a look at, which was the gallery. This is a gallery on a page. And then this section here is the list. So you'll see it says this button here, edit content. Okay, that's important to note. And then this is the actual gallery, right? That had the 4 images. So here, all you see is this picture, this little icon of a landscape. If you click on that, you could change, reorganize the photos here, but this is an overall gallery. Okay, so now let me start to show you the differences of all 3. I'm going to start with this one first, the gallery section. Again, just to show you, add section, gallery, I clicked on this. That's what we're looking at right now, gallery, and this first one. All right. Oh, and quick note, just there's so many little things just to keep in mind. Okay, so if I go to gallery here, just to note, if you use this one, you could change it to look like this. And if you use this, you could change it to look like this. The fact that you're in gallery, you could change the look and feel of all of them. But you cannot change a gallery to a list. Or you can't change a list to a blank section and then make it a gallery. That's why I'm trying to save you time. If that doesn't make sense, just keep going, not a big deal. But just if you are aware of these differences, now you know. in depth how it works. So let's take a look at the gallery here. This is beautiful, easy. It's actually really nice to just drag 10 photos in. Let me do that right now. So yes, it's really easy just to grab a bunch of photos, drag it in, and set up the gallery. Each of these photos, as you can see here, has this place for a description and a link. So if you want to set up all these images to link to something, you could do that as well. But what you do notice as well is that there's no section here that is for a title. So if you want to write South America under the photo, or Africa, or whatever that might be, there's no actual section here for that outside of the description. And the description, I'm going to write description lorem ipsum. So you see that, and then go here. I'll just do that for a few photos. So we'll see what we can do with that. But as soon as I hit close, we're good to go. Now you'll see that these photos are here. They're filling up the space. Now, if you want to customize the look and feel, you know how the gallery section had all those different options? You'll click the little pencil. So once you click the pencil, it gives you a lot of options here. Always start with the first one, this gallery type, because if you change this, for example, it changes the options below it. So as you can see here, I changed it to gallery strips. And so now what it's doing is putting 4 across. Let's see how it's pulling that. Yeah, it's doing 4 across. Then you could do masonry, which is a little bit more jagged and just kind of thrown around a little bit, which is nice. Here we have a layout of column 2. So I could do 3 columns. This looks really nice. It's just a really full experience. That's awesome. You have slideshow. This is where you could do a full-on slideshow, depending on how you want it to look as well. There's a lot of options. Slideshow full. This is the full screen look and feel, right? And then the height, so I'll do large so it fills the screen here. Awesome, beautiful. And then slideshow reel, which this is more of a carousel in some ways, but still called a slideshow. Let's do full bleed. There we go. That looks nice. All right, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do this one for now. Let's say I just like this. It shows spacing. Currently, let's do full bleed, so it fills the whole section. That's nice. That is cool. Great. Caption, let's check that. And you'll see here, so actually this one shows the description. So if you need a title and a description, it really doesn't do that, but it does show the description here. And let's see if we could do a cool workaround. Let me do this. You can't customize this. So I was trying to make this like bold or something, but you can't customize it. So how it comes, it's hard to have like a title and then a description underneath it. This just gives you a little bit of a space to put a few words of text. So if it works, awesome. Now let's take a look again here. Spacing, row, caption, animation, site default. Lightbox is if you want somebody to be able to click on the image and it opens up and fills on the screen. And there we go. So that is all that. Color is the background basically and the font. So if I change this, let's change it to something significant so you could see it. Now it's a yellow background with the black font, or it could be inverted to black and yellow there. So that is a gallery section. One major note, as you can see, you can't add text right above it. You can't add text right below it. You'd have to add in a completely separate section. That's where something like our first section, this gallery within a page, is nice because I could put gallery section here, make this bigger, and then place it center, boom. So now you can see I could add text to it. If I want to throw the gallery off to the side, I can do that as well. It gives me options here versus if I'm doing it as a section, I don't really have those options. I could add a section here. I'm trying to give you as many options as possible so you can think about this, but let's go up here and grab this and then go back down here. So let me see, get rid of that extra spacing. Okay, put that there. What you could do here is just take this and do section height and then just do the 3 little dots. So it makes it really thin. And then this has a white background. So I'll just do a white background. And now this all would bleed together. So if I hit save, for the average user, they won't be able to tell the difference that they're different sections. So it kind of looks like it all flows together. Maybe I add a little bit more space right below it, but overall it looks really nice. And boom, fills the space, looks beautiful, great. Okay, so that is a gallery section. Hey, if you're getting value from this video, make sure you check the links in the description. There is a link there for you that is going to take your gallery game to the next level, especially if you're thinking about SEO and trying to grow your business online. The links down below are going to help you go to the next level. And I'm so happy because it is all the content and information I wish I had when I started that I have used to help hundreds of clients scale and grow online with their Squarespace website. So make sure you check it out down below. Now let's take a look at a content section. This is, remember this one says edit content. So this is a list section. So if I hit edit, this gives me a lot of options. I wish this little interface was bigger. That would probably be my one comment, but it gives you a lot of options. So let's take a look. Elements, content, design. So for elements, you have a title. So where it says make it stand out, that's the title. If you want a button underneath the entire section, you can do that way down here. And then for each item, right? So this is considered one item and this is an item. It's asking, do you want to show image, show title, show body, show button? So if I uncheck that, awesome. If I uncheck that, awesome. I'm going to keep it for now. Could remove the title. If I want to remove the image, I can do that. So there are a lot of options there. For now, I'm going to keep it just like this because I don't need the button necessarily on this section. Cool. So now let's take a look at content. Now, this is kind of where I wish it could be a little bit bigger, but section title, here you go. This is where it says make it stand out. So I could center that and I could paste the text I just had. Gallery, this would be called list section. Cool. So you get a feel for that. And then here are the items. And again, it's a little bit of a bummer. You can't duplicate items really easily, but it does give you a lot of options on how to design this. So you could come in here, click on it, delete this, and then say, let's drag a photo in. From there, once the photo uploads, you could change the title, you could change the description. You'll see how the title is bold. It just makes it stand out more, and then the description is here. So now you have more sections to work with versus a gallery section, right? So this gives you a title and a description, plus potentially a button, all of that. Now let me go back. One thing worth noting is one thing worth noting here for this list section, there's no button that links to the image itself in this case. So if I go back and I actually go to elements and I turn on the button and I go back to content, and then I go to Dream It, this first one, you'll see down here, it gives me an option to add a button. So let's say Asia portfolio, great. And then this could be like /Asia, whatever that link is. Now I've added this button and it can link to it. In this case, the image itself doesn't link. In this section, you could have the image link, but in this section, you can't, apparently. So let's hit edit content. Actually, let me hit save and see if I can do that. So once you do that, the only thing that is clickable is the button, not the image. All right, so let's go back in here and click edit content again. Now we've taken a look at elements and content. You could add elements here, delete elements, easier reorganize them. But this is where it gets really cool for the user experience. If I hit design, there are a lot of options. So simple list, this is a simple list. And let me actually just show you, let me max column 2. So if I do 2, it stacks it on 3, or just stacks it on the page. Banner slideshow, if I go back up here, this is a full-on banner, as you can see here, with the arrows and the text is on the page, which just looks really nice. It's off left justified, but if I centered it, that looks cool. Whatever you like to do with this like infinite scroll, whatever makes the most sense. Cool. So banner slideshow, carousel. This looks really nice, especially if you have a lot of sections broken down. It's really easy to flow through this. And then that is all. So those are the 3 main ones. And then you have a lot of options to customize it. As you can see too, even the text got bigger as I just changed the different look and feel. So there's options for the font size as well, for styling, that you could go in here and make a lot of different changes. If you want it to look like a card, I don't know why I would do that here. Let's go back to simple list. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at this. I'm gonna do 3 on a page or on a line. And then I'm going to do style, and then I'm going to do card. Now you can see it has this like border in this background that looks really nice. there's just a ton of options. So you could spend hours here figuring things out and customizing it. Text size, adjusting the font. You click the three little dots. You could adjust it as you want. If you want the button to be bigger, the item description, or the title, boom, you can make adjustments to all of that. So this is really beautiful, really easy to use, and it gives you a ton of options, especially if you're doing a top layer or middle layer that links to a portfolio. So it gives you a lot of options on how to create these sections and push the content out. The list section is beautiful. The only challenge is if you're trying to do like a summary of something, let's say it's the five continents that you want to focus on, and you want that to show up on 3 or 4 different parts of your website. Well, the only problem is you have to manually upload it to every single part of your site. So if you have it on the home page and you have it on the about page and you have it on the contact page, for example, you would have to upload the 4 images with the text below it, with the buttons, make sure it all works. If you update one, you'd have to manually update the other ones. It's unfortunate, but it is part of it. So just be mindful of that. They do have a summary block on here that kind of works, but it doesn't really work for galleries. It just doesn't really work for galleries that well. So that is a breakdown of the list section. Now let's talk about galleries on a page. So I showed you how to add this earlier. Just to remind you, you click the plus sign anywhere on a page, on any section of a page, hit gallery, and this will come up. Once this comes up, this is the old user interface, so I bet maybe one day when this video is out on YouTube, this interface is going to change. But for now, let's just drag in a few images and drop those in there. So it's going to upload those images, start adding them in. Galleries basically have 4 main design styles, and those 4 design styles we're going to look at, and each one has its own unique features, look and feel, all of that. Okay, great. So these images have uploaded. Again, these are really easy to like move around. This operates really similar to a gallery section, like the first part of this video, because if you hit this little settings wheel, you could add a title and a description and a click-through URL, which is cool. So this is a title and this is a description. All right, so hit save. It's not going to show up quite yet on the image. Let me just move this over so you can see what we're doing here. There's this button that says use existing galleries. This is for the old version of Squarespace, so this means nothing in 7.1. So just don't worry about it, unfortunately. But then go to design. You have these 3 options, right? So you could have a slideshow like this. You could do a carousel like this. Show next and previous. So it gives you there's little arrows right here. Cool. You could do a grid, what we looked at already, and then stacked, where the images just stack on top of each other. You can see here it already added the title and the description. So you could do any of those. Let's go to the slideshow and just get a look and feel here. You'll see there's a lot of options: automatically transition between slides, show next and previous controls, automatic crop, show thumbnails, how big should the thumbnails be, do we show the title and the description. You'll see this one's cropping, so if I do remove automatic crop, it shows it like this with this like gray background. Let's see, show title and description only on hover. That's interesting. Open links in a new window, and then transparent background. So instead of that little gray that just goes away, it's transparent. There's a lot of options here of what you can do. Carousel, I've really never used this carousel specifically. It's all right, but that's cool. I've used grid a lot. Here you could do show title. See, it doesn't even say show title and description. It just says show title. So this would work really good for one of those higher levels when you are trying to create, say, the Asia, Africa, South America type of sections that people will click through on and go to a different part of your site, especially if you want to have more control, if you want to throw it over to the side versus having an entire section like this. It gives you a lot more control on how to break out sections how you like. So let's go back into the gallery. We'll hit design, and you'll see the aspect ratio gives you all these options here on what you could use. You could see that none of these are automatic, so you have to set some type of size. So if I do 3:2 and I set crop or remove that, you'll see how it looks. It kind of looks a little random because all of them are different sizes. But if you do have a general size for all the images, it will look really nice. Like this just looks a lot nicer overall. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this video, hit the like button. When you hit the like button, it lets the YouTube algorithm know all this fancy information, but it lets me know you got value from this content. This topic right here is one of the most valuable content that I create that people really enjoy. So if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments below. If you want more content like this on how to scale your business with Squarespace, make sure you subscribe. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.